When I first told people I was travelling solo to Albania, they had mixed reactions. Many were wondering why, it just seemed a bit random. Others considered if it was actually safe for me. But Albania is no longer a hidden gem, detached from the rest of the world. Tourism is booming here, and there's so much to explore, from the mountains to the beaches to everything in between. So I went with an open mind, and this is a recap of my first few days and first impressions of the country.
Landing strip is where the plane comes down.
So I've just flown into Tirana, which is the capital city of Albania. However, before I came to Albania, I read a lot of blogs that said, don't spend too much time in the capital city, it's not that worth it. It's a bit of history and that's all. So actually, I'm leaving Tirana. It's Abena from the future. Guess what? I came back to Tirana. I couldn't visit the city and not explore the capital, at least for a day. So I have a day today to explore Tirana with you guys before we continue our journey through Albania. And I'm excited, I hope you are too. I am at a bakery. I'm trying to figure out what we do today in Tirana. I just picked up some really Albanian type food. So we've got Fanta exotic. Yes, it says exotic. I don't know what flavour it is, but I'm happy that they don't try and lie to you that it's pineapple or orange or like real fruit juice. It just tastes exotic. And then I also have Berat. Berat is, you find it in the Balkans. It's like a pastry with like cheese and like kind of filet pastry, and I have one with meat. All of this costs 200 lek, which is equivalent to €2, which is so good, how affordable things are in Albania. After my quick lunch, I headed out to explore. This is Skanderberg Square. It's named after a famous Albanian nobleman, and it's also where you'll find a ton of government buildings and iconic landmarks, including Bunker 2. This bunker is a perfect place to get an insight into the communist regime in Albania and understand a bit of the history. Albania used to operate a strict regime of policing and control. It's important to realise that Albanian borders were pretty closed off into the 90s, and that has affected the development of the country. It might explain why, even though the outside of my accommodation building looked pretty rough, it was actually nice inside and a great way to escape the afternoon heat. Of course, I could not miss sunset. I didn't count how many steps it took me to get up here, but it felt like a lot. I had to take a break, but the sunset looks epic. Heading back to the start of my trip, I left Tirana to the first stop on my journey around Albania, Berat. This is a city of windows, and I was excited to explore. I checked into my version of a Barbie house. This place is costing me €50 a night, and it's super comfy. Guys, I'm sweating so much, it's criminal. I've had to take off my leggings. I'm burning up so badly. It feels like a furnace. Oh my god, thank God for this AC. Because I'm about to use this AC so badly. Oh my days, look at this. I just passed a place that's selling Aperol Spritz for €5 only. First impressions of Berat. So, one, it's very traditional. I'm just seeing the Albanian flag everywhere, stone-lined roads, buildings that kind of look like they're stuck in time, which is kind of cool. So I really like the historical angle of this town already. Two, the locals are super chill. As a black woman here, I've not gotten any stares. I feel like I've been treated like a normal person, really. And the locals, even if they don't speak English, a lot of people speak English. If they don't, they still we figure it out. Obviously they speak Albanian here, so that's their language. 100% respect that. The food I ate yesterday, it was grilled meat. It wasn't anything special, but I did have a sausage. I'll put the name of the sausage here. It's meant to be like an Albanian type specialty. It was really nice. I really enjoyed that. So yeah, hoping to kind of try more Albanian food whilst I'm here. I'm just heading to explore this town in the morning before it gets way too hot. This is such a nice spread. The funny thing is, when I was walking around Berat, I was like, I'm craving orange juice. Whenever I go to like South Europe and I come to places like this, it just makes me feel like the orange juice is gonna be really, really good. Because I don't know why, but I think in my head, I'm like, really cute southern town, gonna have really great fruit, aka juice. But I couldn't go and get juice because when I was walking around, I didn't take my money with me. And I had my phone, and in London I would have like tapped with my phone with Apple Pay, but here cash is king. Cash is king. So you need to have cash on you, and I didn't have cash on me. But I just came for breakfast, and look, they got orange juice here. That is so good. Yes. After breakfast, I headed to the biggest landmark of the city, which is Berat Castle. I actually paid €7 for this ride, which seemed kind of steep considering how good the prices are here. But you know what was also steep? This hill. So I think it was money well spent on a 5-minute ride, especially with the heat. Berat Castle is less of a castle, more of a complex, with hotels, restaurants, we even crossed a wedding party. Of course, there's ancient artifacts and churches to explore too, and great views of the city below. Guys, I'm sweating so badly. I'm trying to get to the biggest viewing point that Berat has. It's in this castle area, but the road is uphill, of course. The hotel gave me frozen water, so there's like frozen ice in the middle of this, and then I've got like nice cold water. But how long will this help me? God is truly my strength, because it's midday, so the sun is burning high. I think it's like 36, 37 degrees. Would not recommend. So hey guys, I'm with Chloe. We met at the bus stop yesterday. We're both confused solo travellers wondering what the heck we're doing. But we've met up to go to do a wine tasting. So Berat is meant to be in the wine country of Albania. So yeah, on the outskirts are meant to be a ton of vineyards. Actually, when I was up by the castle, I saw like a ton of like fields and stuff. So I feel like this is gonna be really good. Also, fun fact, Berat is meant to be the highest producer of olive oil in Albania as well. So they must have a lot of like agriculture around here. So we just got on a €15 taxi to the winery.
No.
Oh. Come on. We can't. Oh, yes. Our taxi driver did not speak a lick of English, but we still communicated very, very well with him. Trust me. My first Raki of the trip.
Your first Raki?
Of the trip.
Okay.
Yeah. Gizare? Okay, Gizare, guys. 2 nights in Berat was the perfect amount of time and the best way to start my trip to Albania. Rubbing shoulders with the locals and experiencing true Albanian hospitality in a way that felt authentic and not too touristy. My next stop on the trip was Gjirokaster, an old city that feels stuck in time and a UNESCO World Heritage Site. So it's 1 p.m. and I should be heading out to explore, but yesterday when I went to the castle in Berat, it was way too hot. The middle of the day, as we all know, is the hottest part of the day, and yesterday I just felt like I was burning up. It just was not great. So today I am giving myself a bit of a breather and I am heading out late in the afternoon. So I think what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna go grab lunch from a bakery, and then I will come back, chill, rest inside, and then at 3 o'clock we'll head off. The bakery I'm going to is called Antigonia 2000. It's like a 4-minute walk away. And I was actually looking at different bakeries because I didn't want anywhere that I would have to sit down. I wanted a place where I could just grab and go. And there was a bakery I was looking at, and people were like, if you're a tourist, you will pay double the price. And I feel like as I'm heading deeper to the south of Albania, I'm really facing the tourist inflation that happens in most touristy places. But I think because everyone knows that Albania is not that expensive, so when you get ripped off, people are like, don't do that. I ended my magical day eating dinner in the vineyard surrounding Gjirokaster with a spread of tzatziki, stuffed eggplants, and lamb chops with rice. All of this plus 2 glasses of white wine from the vineyard cost me just 16 euros. The sunset though was priceless. Good morning. I am just heading out, just literally around the corner back to the bazaar to take a few videos because the sun is shining today, and I wasn't able to get those kind of videos or photos when it was raining yesterday, but I thought that I would do some thoughts and impressions of Gjirokaster considering I'm leaving. I have one more stop on this video before we get to the Albanian Riviera to the south of Albania. But let's talk about Gjirokaster first. So, the locals in Gjirokaster are just as nice as the ones I met in Berat. Yesterday, I wanted to get a taxi to the restaurant I went to, and I had no idea where to go. So I walked up to a guy selling souvenirs on the street, and I was like, hey, do you know how I can get a taxi? And he spoke to another guy, and I don't think the other guy was a taxi man. I think he was just free and had a car, and he was like, yeah, I'll take you. And I was just like, the kindness, like that's, the shop guy he didn't owe me anything when it comes to taxis because, he's selling his souvenirs. And the other guy that just had a car, he could have gone home to his family, he could have done whatever, but he decided to take me to the restaurant. So, people are so nice here. Gjirokaster is much smaller than Berat, so that is important to know. I'm really glad I did Berat 2 nights and Gjirokaster 1 night, because this town is basically a very old town on a hill. It's tiny, and actually when I went down the hill to where the vineyards are for dinner yesterday, I realized like that's where people actually live. So people live at the bottom of the hill, and that's what you see when you look out from Gjirokaster. The view shows the actual city that people live in, or the actual town, whilst Gjirokaster itself is like basically a touristy spot on the side of the hill, basically. So it's very touristy, but also means you don't really interact with locals unless they work in tourism. So Berat, I felt like I was walking around and I was seeing locals living their daily life, going to shops, buying things, whilst here most of the shops are souvenir shops or they're like food places because it's all catered to tourists. So that's another thing to note if you are deciding between Gjirokast or Berat. I think Berat is bigger and it is more like you are seeing more of like the local life, while Gjirokast feels more like a time capsule that you can come and see and kind of see the history and blah blah blah. I do prefer Gjirokaster Castle to Berat Castle because Gjirokaster Castle is inside, so I wasn't dying yesterday. But also you have to pay, whilst Berat Castle is free. So yeah, I think there's like some interesting comparisons between the two. And one thing I will say is like Gjirokaster has been so steep because it is on a hill. I'm either going up or I'm going down. Funny enough, this is a flat road. What an anomaly. But yeah, usually I'm either going up or I'm going down, and yesterday when it started raining I really freaked out because I had this fear of falling, so I was scared I was going to just roll. I was just going to slip. Thankfully I did not, praise God. I used my tripod as a walking stick and it really works. But yeah, okay, I think I'm at the bazaar now. Go get my last few clips, get breakfast, then we head to our final and maybe most exciting stop. The old bazaar definitely looked nicer in the sun, and despite it being so early, I still found a cafe selling oshav. So oshav is a traditional dessert from Gjirokaster made of sheep's milk, sugar and dried figs, and I have to tell you, it's a strong taste. If you don't like goat's cheese, I doubt you'll like this, but it's worth the try. I was meant to take a bus to my next destination, but I found a taxi driver who would do a 3-hour journey for €50, and I'm glad I took the deal because the route was hilly, and I know I would have had to take like 3 different buses to complete the same journey. But this is what I wanted to show you guys. The Blue Eye, a freshwater spring in the forest. Like, this is so magical. How clear is the water? I'm in love. Oh my god. So the rules say no swimming. I have seen videos of people here swimming though, because they're like, apparently the rule is not enforced, but I feel like in Europe right now there's a lot of like anti-tourism sentiment, and the worst thing you can do right now is be an irresponsible tourist who thinks they're above the rules. So I'm just gonna dip my feet in the water because I had this really cold, I've been sweating so much, and then head back.